Listen carefully. There's a move so subtle, most men never even notice it. But when you do it right, she'll replay that moment in her mind for days. It's not about what you say. It's not about how you look. It's about a silent signal that bypasses her logic and hits her emotions directly. Most men talk their way out of attraction, but what I'm about to show you requires 0 words and creates maximum desire. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll understand why silence is your most powerful weapon. Before we dive in, I need you to do something for me. If you're serious about understanding what actually makes a woman feel drawn to you, hit that like button right now and subscribe, because what I share here isn't the surface level advice you'll find everywhere else. This is about the psychology that actually works. Also, drop a comment below telling me which city you're watching from. I'm curious about our community, and I read every single one. Now let me tell you something most men will never understand. I've watched countless guys fumble opportunities with women, not because they weren't attractive enough, not because they didn't have money, but because they couldn't shut up long enough to let their presence do the work. They thought attraction was built through conversation, through impressive stories, through proving their worth with words. They were wrong. The truth? Women fall for what they feel, not what they hear. And feelings are created in silence, in the spaces between words, in the micro moments where your body communicates what your mouth never could. I'm going to break down 7 silent moves that shift the energy between you and a woman from casual to magnetic. These aren't tricks. They're not manipulation. They're simply the language her subconscious understands, the signals that separate you from every other man who thinks talking louder means standing out. The first silent move is the deliberate pause before you speak. Most men rush to fill silence because they're uncomfortable with it. They're terrified that if they don't keep talking, she'll lose interest or the conversation will die. But here's what they don't realize. That discomfort with silence is exactly what makes them forgettable. When you pause before responding to her, even just for 2 or 3 seconds, something shifts. That brief silence creates tension. Her mind starts working. She wonders what you're thinking. She leans into the moment instead of checking out of it. The pause tells her that you're not desperate to impress her, that you think before you speak, that you're comfortable in your own presence. Picture this. She asks you a question. Maybe something personal, maybe something playful. Instead of jumping to answer like every other guy, you hold her gaze. You let a small smile touch your lips. You take a breath. Then, and only then, you respond. That pause just shifted the entire dynamic. You're no longer the one trying to earn her approval. You're the one she's trying to read. Psychology backs this up. When someone takes time to respond, it signals thoughtfulness and confidence. It makes every word you eventually say carry more weight because she had to wait for it. Women are drawn to men who aren't in a hurry, who move through life with intention rather than anxiety. The mistake most men make is overthinking what to say next while she's still talking. They're so busy planning their response that they miss the opportunity to simply be present. But when you master the pause, you stop performing and start connecting. You give her space to feel the electricity of the moment rather than drowning it in unnecessary words. Try this the next time you're with a woman. When she finishes speaking, don't respond immediately. Let the silence sit for a heartbeat. Watch her eyes. Notice how she shifts slightly, how her body language changes. She's not uncomfortable. She's intrigued. Because silence from a confident man doesn't feel awkward. It feels powerful. The second silent move is the slow, controlled exit from her personal space. When you're close to a woman, whether it's during a conversation, a hug, or just standing near her, how you leave that space matters more than how you entered it. Most men either linger too long, making it awkward, or pull away too quickly, making it feel transactional. Both kill the moment. The move that creates lasting impact is the slow, deliberate exit. You've been close to her. Maybe you leaned in to hear her over loud music. Maybe you touched her arm while making a point. Maybe you were just standing closer than casual. When you pull back, do it slowly. Don't rush. Don't jerk away like you're nervous about being too close. Let your movement be smooth, unhurried. As you create distance, maintain eye contact for just a second longer. Let there be a subtle smile, almost like you're savoring the moment before releasing it. This does something to her brain. It tells her that proximity to her is something you enjoyed but don't need, that you're in control of your movements, your emotions, your presence. I've seen this play out countless times. A man leans in close during a conversation. The woman feels the closeness, the warmth of his energy. Then he pulls back, but he does it with intention, slowly, calmly, and suddenly, she's the one leaning forward, trying to close the gap he just created. Without saying a word, he made her chase. This works because women are highly attuned to spatial dynamics. When you respect her space, but also show that you're comfortable in it, you communicate confidence. When you exit that space with control, you communicate that you're not desperate for her proximity. And that makes her want it more. The psychology here is simple, but powerful. Scarcity creates value. When you make your closeness something that comes and goes on your terms, not hers, you become more desirable. She starts wondering when you'll lean in again, when she'll feel that presence. And that wondering is where attraction grows. The third silent move is the steady, unshaken response to her testing. Women test men. It's not malicious. It's instinctive. She might tease you, disagree with you, or suddenly go cold to see how you react. Most men either get defensive, try too hard to win her approval back, or match her coldness with their own. All of these responses fail because they show that her behavior controls yours. The silent move that wins is stillness. When she tests you, when she throws attitude or pulls back suddenly, you stay calm. You don't react with words. You don't chase. You don't get angry. You simply remain unfazed. Your body language stays relaxed. Your eye contact stays steady. You might give her a slight knowing smile, as if to say, "I see what you're doing and it's cute." This drives women crazy in the best way, because the man who doesn't lose his composure when tested is the man who feels safe. He's not emotionally volatile. He's not controlled by her moods. He's grounded in himself. And that groundedness is magnetic. Let me paint you a picture. You're talking to a woman. Things are going well. Then suddenly, her tone shifts. She makes a comment that's slightly dismissive or teasing in a way that feels like she's testing your reaction. Most men stumble here. They get flustered, they try to explain themselves, they seek validation. But you hold your frame. You take a slow breath. You maintain that calm eye contact. Maybe you smirk slightly. You don't engage with the test directly. You move the conversation forward as if her little probe didn't shake you at all. And just like that, you passed. She feels it immediately. You're different. You're solid. The psychological principle at work here is called emotional congruence. When you remain emotionally steady despite external pressure, you signal strength. Women are biologically wired to seek partners who can remain calm under stress because that stability translates to safety and reliability. The fourth silent move is the intentional, slow touch. Touch is one of the most powerful nonverbal tools you have, but most men either avoid it completely or use it clumsily. The touch that creates desire isn't aggressive or uncertain. It's deliberate, slow, and purposeful. When you touch a woman, whether it's guiding her by the small of her back through a crowded room, brushing her hair behind her ear, or simply placing your hand on her shoulder during a conversation, the speed matters. Fast touches feel nervous or accidental. Slow touches feel intentional and confident. Imagine this. You're walking into a venue together. There's a crowd. Instead of just walking ahead, you gently place your hand on her lower back. Not rushing, not grabbing. Just a firm, warm, slow placement that guides her forward. Your hand lingers just a fraction longer than necessary before you remove it. That touch just told her subconscious a dozen things. You're protective. You're aware of her. You're in control. You're not afraid of physical contact. Or picture this. She's talking, and a strand of hair falls across her face. Instead of pointing it out or waiting for her to fix it, you slowly reach over and tuck it behind her ear. Your fingers move deliberately, not frantically. You maintain eye contact as you do it. The touch lasts only a second, but the impact lasts much longer. She'll replay that moment later, wondering why something so simple felt so charged. The psychology of touch is primal. Skin-to-skin contact releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. But beyond chemistry, the way you touch communicates your intentions and confidence. A slow, controlled touch says, I know what I'm doing. I'm not nervous, and I'm not apologizing for wanting to touch you. Most men are afraid of touch because they're afraid of rejection. So they either avoid it or make it too tentative, asking permission with every movement. But women respect the man who can touch with confidence while still being respectful. The key is calibration. Read her body language. If she leans into your touch, you're on the right path. If she pulls back, respect it and adjust. The fifth silent move is the controlled, knowing smile. Your smile is a weapon, but only when used correctly. Most men smile too much, too wide, too eagerly. They grin like they're auditioning for her approval. That desperation shows, and it kills attraction instantly. The smile that captivates isn't the big, friendly grin. It's the small, controlled, almost secret smile, the kind that makes her wonder what you're thinking. When she says something, instead of reacting with an immediate, full smile, let the corner of your mouth lift slightly. Hold it there. Let your eyes stay calm, steady on hers. Don't explain the smile. Don't follow it with words. Just let it exist for a moment before it fades. This type of smile communicates so much without saying anything. It says you're amused but not overly impressed. It says you're confident enough to hold back. It says you have thoughts she's not privy to yet. And that mystery pulls her in. I've watched this play out in real time. A woman makes a playful jab at a man. Instead of laughing it off or defending himself, he just gives her that slight smirk. He holds her gaze. He doesn't rush to respond. And suddenly, the dynamic shifts. She's the one leaning in, trying to figure out what that smile meant. She's the one working to earn his full reaction. The psychology here ties into the concept of emotional scarcity. When you give away your full emotional response immediately, you lose leverage. But when you ration it, when you show that your approval isn't automatic, it becomes valuable. Women are drawn to men whose emotions aren't easy to access because it signals depth and self-control. The key is authenticity. Don't force a smile, don't fake amusement, but when you feel that genuine moment of humor or interest, let it show subtly. Train yourself to pause before fully reacting. Let that slight smile be your signature move, the one that makes her think about you long after you've walked away. The sixth silent move is the unhurried walk away. How you leave a conversation or a space matters just as much as how you enter it. Most men either rush away, nervous about lingering too long, or they drag out the goodbye, clinging to the interaction. Both approaches weaken your presence. The move that leaves a mark is the slow, confident walk away. When it's time to go, you don't announce it dramatically. You don't linger awkwardly. You simply make your exit with the same calm energy you brought in. You maintain your posture. You move with purpose but without rush. And if you glance back, it's brief, with that knowing smile. This creates a powerful psychological effect. It tells her that while you enjoyed the interaction, you're not dependent on it. You have places to be, things to do, a life that doesn't revolve around her. And paradoxically, that makes her want to be part of your life more. Think about it. If a man rushes away, it feels like he's escaping. If he lingers too long, it feels like he has nowhere better to be. But the man who walks away with calm confidence, he's intriguing, he's busy, he's valuable, and she'll remember him. I've seen women completely shift their interest based on how a man left. The ones who walked away with quiet confidence became the ones she texted first, the ones she brought up in conversations, the ones she couldn't stop thinking about. Because that exit planted a seed of curiosity that words never could. The seventh and final silent move is the strategic absence. This is perhaps the most powerful move of all, and it requires the most discipline. When you sense that things are getting too predictable, too comfortable, or when you feel her testing you by pulling back, the strongest response is to create space. Not out of spite, not as a game, but as a recalibration of value. Strategic absence means you don't always be available. You don't respond to every text immediately. You don't rearrange your entire life around her schedule. You maintain your purpose, your goals, your life. And in doing so, you become more attractive because you become scarce. Women value what they can't have constant access to. When you're always there, always available, always responding, you lose the element of mystery and challenge. But when you show that your time is valuable, that she has to earn your presence, everything changes. This doesn't mean ignoring her or playing cruel games. It means having genuine priorities that sometimes come before her. It means being the man who's building something, working on himself, investing in his growth. And when she notices that absence, when she realizes you're not at her beck and call, her interest spikes. The psychology here is rooted in the principle of operant conditioning and scarcity. When something is readily available, the brain assigns it less value. But when access is limited, suddenly it becomes more desirable. Your presence becomes something she anticipates rather than expects. And anticipation is the fuel of attraction. I've coached countless men through this, and the pattern is always the same. The moment they stop being so available, the moment they reclaim their time and focus on themselves, the women in their lives suddenly start reaching out more, asking where they've been, wanting to see them. It's not manipulation, it's natural human psychology. These 7 silent moves aren't about playing games or trying to trick women into liking you. They're about embodying the kind of masculine energy that naturally attracts. They're about presence, confidence, and self-control, the kind of qualities that can't be faked with words, but are felt deeply in silence. Most men will watch this video and do nothing. They'll go back to talking too much, chasing too hard, and wondering why attraction fades. But you're different. You understand now that silence isn't weakness, it's power. The space between words is where desire grows. The pauses, the controlled movements, the deliberate absences, these are the tools that separate the forgettable from the unforgettable. So here's what I need you to do. First, if this resonated with you, hit that like button. It tells me to keep bringing you this level of real, actionable insight. Second, subscribe if you haven't already, because this is just the beginning. I'm going to keep breaking down the psychology of attraction in ways that actually make sense and actually work. Third, and this is important, drop a comment below. Tell me which of these 7 silent moves you're going to try first, or share a time when your silence created more attraction than your words ever could. I read every comment, and your stories help build a community of men who are leveling up together. And finally, share this video with a friend who needs to hear this. Every man deserves to understand that he doesn't need to talk his way into attraction. He just needs to master the art of powerful presence. Remember, women don't fall for what you say. They fall for what you make them feel. And feelings live in silence, in the moments where your body speaks louder than your words. Master these 7 moves and you'll never struggle with attraction again, because you'll become the man who doesn't chase attention. You'll become the man who commands it. Now go out there and put this into practice. And when you start seeing results, come back here and let me know. Because this is just the beginning of your transformation.